Larry is the person who didn't need to crack jokes to be funny. His humor came naturally from his confidence. From calling his shots to embarrassing legends, these are the funniest Larry Bird stories you never knew before. But before we start, make sure to hit that subscribe button to watch more funny moments and celebrity drama. The silent assassin with a sense of humor. The league was full of loud personalities, but Larry was something else. He was the man who weaponized silence. Larry Bird wasn't your typical trash talker. He didn't shout, dance, or smirk. He'd just tell you what he was going to do and then just do it without any hesitation. What made all this funny wasn't the delivery, but the disbelief afterward. Kevin McHale confirmed that Larry didn't joke around. He just said things that sounded so serious at first, but became funny later. And that was Larry's magic. His trash talk wasn't something loud and nonsensical. It was surgical, like a scalpel used with confidence. John Sally's never-ending nightmare. John Sally and the bad boy Pistons prided themselves on breaking down players, and they were well known for it. But when it came to Larry Bird, they couldn't do anything. Sally said that we would knock guys to the floor, talk trash, throw elbows, but Larry just kept making shots. Nothing seemed to affect him. He also said that it got to a point where we started wondering, has this guy missed any shots tonight? Larry wasn't the fastest, the strongest, or the flashiest, but every time Sally thought that he was out of bullets, Bird simply pulled out another clip and kept going on. Sally also confirmed that shooters shoot, but Larry never stopped. He is an unstoppable machine. By the end of that night, the Pistons were gassed, and Bird was still calmly walking back on the defense like nothing had happened at all. This Larry style is what makes him more famous. The Isaiah Thomas Nightmare. During Game 5 of the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals, Pistons vs. Celtics, Detroit was seconds away from taking a commanding series lead with that game. And all they needed to do was to inbound the ball somehow. Isaiah Thomas looked down the court and spotted his teammate. He was ready to throw the pass, and he actually threw the pass towards his teammate. But Larry was also there, and he already saw it coming. He jumped the passing lane and snatched it midair. He turned and handed it to Dennis Johnson for the game-winning layup. The Boston Garden exploded after this scene, and Isaiah was just standing there, all stunned. He later said, "I thought he was out of bounds. He looked like a ballerina. Everything went in slow motion. It was shocking at that time. But now, when Isaiah tells this story, he laughs. Because nobody else but only Larry can pull off such a thing without even trash-talking or saying a single word. He just jogged off back down the court like it was another ordinary day at the office." Reggie Miller tries to ice Larry. Reggie Miller was widely known for his talks and how he got into people's heads. When he was playing next to Larry Bird during a free throw, he thought, "Let's try this magic on the legend himself." Reggie walked across the lane to Larry with the intention of icing him, but Larry had something else on mind. No doubt Reggie was quite good at breaking the rhythms and delaying shots of other players, but this time it was Larry Bird. Larry looked over and said, "Reggie, are you kidding me? I'm the best shooter this game's ever seen. You think you can ice me?" This being said, Reggie got iced himself. He just stood there, speechless, and Larry drained the free throw without even looking at the rim again. And the hilarious part was that Bird wasn't joking. He said it loud enough so that everybody could hear it. He didn't need to shout or raise his voice. He did it with pure conviction. Don't ever be late again. When Al Harrington joined the Pacers, he thought he would make a good first impression on everybody. But on the day of his press conference, he missed his flight and showed up late. When he walked in, he was totally nervous and ready to apologize. At that time, Larry was the president of the team, and he gave him a dead stare in the eye. Larry extended his head and said, "Don't ever bleep be late again." That was just it. No welcome to the team or no small talk of any kind. Just that one single line. Al Harrington says to this day that he still laughs about it, not because Larry was being mean at that time, but because of how serious he was about it. That was Larry's unique leadership style. It was simple, blunt, and unforgettable. If you're loving these stories so far, subscribe to our channel because we've got more cool, classic NBA moments coming up. Who's playing for second? The three-point contest story. This story spread across the league, and even decades later, players say it's one of the most Larry Bird things that ever happened. Before the 1986 three-point contest, the locker room was dead silent. Every player in that room was an elite shooter, and legends like Craig Hodges and Dale Ellis were present there. Then Larry walked in while he was still wearing his warm-up jacket, and he looked around the room and asked, "All right, which one of you is coming in second?" No smirk, no laughter, just one simple fact. Then he turned and walked out. At first, everyone thought he was joking, and it was nothing serious until he started hitting shots not like a human but like a machine. He made it all the way to the final round. Before his last rack, he already knew he was going to win, and he raised his finger in the air. The crowd went crazy when they saw all this. Larry didn't even celebrate there, and he just walked off, still wearing his jacket. It felt like it was not something special but a daily routine for him, and that confidence became his trademark, and he is still known for that quiet confidence. The Barkley white guy story. Charles Barkley is the guy who loved playing against Bird. But during one game, something hilarious happened mid-match. Barkley noticed that Larry was grumbling under his breath and was clearly annoyed. Barkley asked him, "What's wrong with you?" Larry responded by saying, "You guys are disrespecting me." Barkley was unsure what he was talking about, so he asked him how. Larry said, "You're guarding me with a white guy, and that's disrespectful to me." Barkley admitted that he couldn't even respond to this and started laughing in the middle of the game. Larry wasn't kidding. He really meant it. He took it as a personal challenge and started dropping bucket after bucket. That one line, delivered with zero expressions, easily became one of the most quoted Birdisms of all time. It was not about race or creed, it was about pride, and Larry wanted their best defender. Bill Walton learns his role. When Bill Walton joined the Celtics, he was a former MVP and a great player. But Larry didn't mind the resumes. Walton came in ready to share the ball to play basketball like a team. But before one game, Larry walked up to Walton and said, "Hey, just because Kevin or Chief aren't playing tonight doesn't mean you're getting more shots. I'm taking them all. Go rebound." Walton confirmed. Larry didn't even blink once. He said it without sarcasm and without any grin. It was just pure, unmatchable Bird confidence. And the sure thing was he took every shot. Walton admitted that he didn't even need to explain himself. He knew he was hot, and he backed it up. It's the kind of honesty that sounds crazy in a normal locker room. But with Larry, it's a different kind of story. Magic's awkward first encounter. The quiet intensity of Larry Bird is so powerful that it can make even the friendliest people awkward. Before the rivalry between Larry and Magic Johnson, Magic actually thought that Larry could be his new best friend. When they first met at a college all-star event, Magic came in with his warm-up energy and a big grin, but Larry wasn't quite having it. No handshakes there, no small talk, and just one nod from Larry. Magic tried to break the ice with his friendly energy, but it didn't quite work. He also tried cracking some jokes, but Larry just stared at him with focus and calm. Magic later said, "I thought something was wrong with him," and he also admitted that it freaked him out and he started disliking him, not because he did anything wrong, but just because Larry didn't like him back. They ended up becoming friends years later, but early on, Bird wasn't there to make bonds, but to compete with dedication. This type of intensity and confidence is Larry's unique style. Clyde Drexler's reality check. As a rookie, Clyde Drexler had all the energy and confidence in the world until he encountered Larry and got a reality check. The type of confidence Larry has is unmatchable, and the confidence that Clyde had at that time was nothing in front of it. When Clyde and Larry were facing each other, Larry was ready to shatter Clyde's confidence in no time. Larry looked at him and said, "You can't stop me." Clyde tried to laugh it off by replying, "Man, you're confident." And Larry, being Larry, said, "Confident? You're a rookie. You don't know anything." And after saying all this, he scored 10 straight points on him. The coach had to bench Clyde after seeing this incident. While Bird jogged by, he chuckled and said, "Told ya." After many years, Clyde admitted it was not some random trash talk. It felt like a lesson to me. He realized after this that Bird didn't play with emotions. He played with proof. The Dream Team observation. By 1992, Larry had slowed down because of his back problem, but his presence was still quite huge and impactful at the legendary Dream Team. During a practice scrimmage, everyone was locked in because of the head-to-head battle going on between Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. They were both trading buckets, yelling, and totally trying to prove who ran the NBA. In the meantime, Larry was sitting on the sideline, holding an ice pack on his back and just observing everything. Then, in the middle of chaos, Larry leaned back and quietly said, "It's Michael's league now." That was just it. No speech, no fanfare, nothing. Just this one line, and everybody froze there. Magic later said, "It hit harder than anything anyone said that day." That was the Bird's way. Honest, simple, and spot on. And of course, it was hilarious because of the way he said it without any hesitation. He said it as it was obvious, while everyone else was sweating to prove it. Larry Bird didn't need a microphone or a catchphrase. His words were rare, and every time he spoke, something unforgettable followed. That's the mark of a legend. Every story that players tell about him always ends with laughter. Not because he was cracking jokes, but because nobody could believe he actually did what he said he'd do. Thanks for reading. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, and share your favorite Larry Bird story in the comments below.